If you're a leader in your business, you're a leader in your family, you're a leader in your community. There's something that people look for above almost anything else, and that is authenticity. Was not that way in the past. In the past, it was leadership is you're going to get up and you're going to lead a group of people and you're going to do it to the best of your ability and people would follow you. And authenticity just wasn't as important. Today, with social media, today, with all the scrutiny, today, where there are cameras everywhere. And people have been burned by people who promise this and don't follow through, who say this is true, and then it turns out not to be true. People are very skeptical. And authenticity has gone way up on people's lists of what they look for if they are going to indeed agree to follow you. So, authentic leadership is one of the most important things that you need to exhibit if you are a leader or if you are aspiring to be a leader. It's just that authenticity in leadership is not what people think it is. And people get in all sorts of trouble by making classic mistakes. And we're going to look at the three big classic mistakes that people are making these days when it comes to authentic leadership. They are stopping themselves, they're preventing themselves from being as effective leaders as they could be. And the people who are looking for that authenticity, and they're not just looking for the authenticity, they're looking for authentic leadership, are turning away and then are not willing to follow you. And again, if you're the leader in your business or in your community, or if you have a formal leadership role and you can't strike this balance right, this authentic leadership balance right, then it's going to be hard for you to be successful in your role. So let's look at those three classic mistakes that I see people making so that you can prevent them, so that you can get around them, and you can be successful in your leadership. First, when people who are leaders think, okay, I want to be authentic, the first place that they go wrong is that they think, okay, being authentic is I'm just going to say what's on my mind. And they don't realize that being a leader, you are in a fishbowl. People are listening to not just what you say, they're listening to the very, very specific words you use. They're listening to that arch of your brow. They're listening to that slight frown you have. They're going to take whatever you say and they're going to blow it up. And if it has the potential to be misconstrued, it will be. So if you just say whatever's on your mind without really thinking through, without being very thoughtful about how you express it, then you're going to get in trouble. There's a heartbreaking story of when the atomic bomb was dropped in the 40s. And there is study of the language that was used between Japan and the US. And there was a word that was used that was a vague word and that could have been taken different ways. And it was taken in potentially the wrong way, led to the dropping of the bomb. The rest is history, and there's speculation on if a different word had been used in that interchange, would those bombs have not been dropped? Now, we're not here to speculate that, but to point out that if something can be misconstrued when there's a lot on the line and when there's a lot of nervous people, things will be misconstrued. So just saying what's on your mind without being thoughtful about the words, without being thoughtful about how you say it, is going to get you in trouble. So when you think about authentic leadership, you do want to be real, you do want to be candid with people, but you want to sit up a little straighter. You want to iron your shirt a little more rather than just letting it all out and letting people take it as they will and very potentially take it the wrong way. You want to be very thoughtful about preventing that from happening. Because there's a big difference between what your friend says to you and what your boss says to you. What your friend says to you, maybe something strikes you a little funny, but they're a really great friend and you know, oh, they didn't mean it. When your boss says something to you and something strikes you a little funny, you get really nervous and you think, huh, I wonder what they meant by that. And then you go talk to somebody else. What do you think they meant by that? And then all of a sudden, people are making things up and you never have the opportunity to come back around and to correct. Or if you do, it's still too late. There's been all of that breaking of trust, there's been all of that doubt that's been created. So rather than that, be thoughtful about what you say, be thoughtful about how you say it. Second, Wanting to be authentic as a leader is a great, great goal. And so when leaders will think about being authentic, they'll think, you know what? I'm going to be real. I'm having a bad day and I don't have to go in there and fake it and be all sunshine because I'm having a really rough day. So I'm going to be real about that. And the issue is that if you are not thoughtful about monitoring your quote bad day and monitoring how you express yourself on that quote bad day, people are going to take it wrong. I coached a leader who had a great sense of humor. Part of this leader's humor was sarcastic humor. And this sarcastic humor came out more when they were under stress. And in the process of coaching this leader, I had the opportunity to talk with some of their colleagues, talk with their boss, and do some interviews. And several people shared with me that when this leader was stressed in meetings, they would make these sarcastic, cutting comments. This leader really didn't realize that they were doing that. It's just sort of a personality thing. And when they were stressed or having a rough day, they would just let these little things fly that they thought were funny, but other people didn't think they were funny. And so I was able to give this leader that feedback. My question for you is, in your pursuit of being an authentic leader, who are you not getting feedback from about the things that you let slip when you're having a rough day, when you're having a stressed out day? For you to think about, how can I be authentic but not ruffle feathers along the way? How can I be an authentic leader but be really thoughtful still in my communication, even though I'm having a hard day? You don't need to be sunshine when you're having a rough day, but you got to manage your emotions. You've got to be self aware and consider, what are the things that I should be saying and what are the things that I just got to let go of, because I can't bring that negativity. I can't bring that stress. I can't bring those things that people are going to take wrong into my day and into my important meetings. Third, leaders who want to be authentic leaders, that's a lofty goal. You do want to be an authentic leader. People want to see you. They want you to be real. They want to have this sense that you're real. Here's a big mistake, though, that leaders make, and that is that they really forget about how much influence they have over other people just based on their role, just based on their title. I worked with a leader and we talked about some of the things that were going on in her group, that were going on with her leadership. And one day she got tears in her eyes and she said, I never realized, I finally get it. And I never realized how much impact I have. I just bring myself to work. It's like bring myself to work day every day. And of course, you do want to bring yourself, but she brought herself in ways that would just be how she'd interact as a human being, but not necessarily about how she'd interact as a leader. I encourage you to think through, okay, what is my philosophy of professionalism here in the workplace? And then what is my philosophy of leadership? Who do I want to be as a leader? Because when she started thinking about it, she realized, I am in a fishbowl. Everybody is looking at what I do. Everybody is listening to what I say. And I never really realized how people could take things. I never really realized all the assumptions that could come out of how I act, what I say, what I do. And so bringing that higher level of awareness to how much people are observing and they're taking your lead is absolutely critical for being a leader. So as you think through your authentic leadership, you want to be you. You want to bring your personality. It's simply that every personality has strong points and then it has excesses that turn into weak points. So you want to think, how can I bring the very best of my personality? When you're having those tough days, you want to think about your emotional regulation. You want to think about, how can I be sure that I am not dragging my baggage into work? When somebody says something at work that really sets you off, rather than just reacting the way you might have as a human being, you remind yourself that you're a leader. Yeah, you're an authentic leader, and you might describe how the impact of what they've said is impacting you, or what's happened is impacting you, but you're not going to react. It's more of a response than it is a reaction. Being an authentic leader is critical in today's world if you are a leader. And being an authentic leader is challenging because you have both words. You have authenticity and you have leadership, and you are responsible for both. So, how do I be the authentic me and authentic in this moment? And at the same time, realize I am leading. And so, I can't be the authentic me I am on a Saturday when I was going to go to the park and it's raining and now I'm frustrated. I can't be that authenticity, which is, oh, I'm so disappointed. I got to be the authentic leader. I'm leading other people, and they are taking my cue on if they're going to be incredibly frustrated, if they're going to be incredibly disappointed. Because if I am, then they are going to be too. And then I've just made my job harder because then my team, who I need them to be engaged, I need them to be productive in their approach to the work. They're not that because they're seeing how frustrated I am. They're seeing how disappointed I am. And so then they are jumping on that bandwagon. Your leadership is really important. Your authentic leadership is being really important. And if it's been a while that you've thought about what is the play of both for you and how do you best show up as an authentic leader that is going to have people feel like you're being real with them and you're really you, and at the same time that you are truly leading people, then it's time to sit down and give that some thought and think, how do I want to show up? And how do I want to better show up tomorrow?